Okay, we are now recording. Okay. As I mentioned before, today we're going to talk about the advanced reports, which are basically the categorization report and category tag report. And these reports are based on the three-dimensional planning, which is the categorization process for categorizing any plans in the system here. So now we'll go over and look at that. We added a couple of kind of categories to go along with the fun stuff we were doing in creating plans here. So we'll talk about that. So this is your group screen. We're down here at the training group again, down at the bottom. Now, as I go down the plan here, you took a couple of these things, and I know you had hidden these, Nicole, and I kind of unhid a few of them for the purpose of today. So the ones that are in the dark text here are unhidden, so we can actually kind of use those. So if I go ahead and select Nicole's birthday party, you'll see this little button down here with the little up arrow and the paperclip is our categorization button. The blue eye on there indicates that it's actually been categorized here. So when I click on this, it's going to give me the ability to look at the categories on the left, and then each category has a set of subcategories over here. So for instance, the strategic priorities are the top level priorities from your strategic plan. And what you're doing with these is you're tagging other plans against the strategic plan. So you can go back and say, show me everything across the department we're doing related to community health improvement. There's a couple of different ones in here, and these are just kind of standard public health categories that you guys can modify at will. Actually, your org admins like Nicole can do the modification. So if you want a new category in here, just please get with Nicole, and she can easily create a new category into here. We're going to be talking about that a little bit more, I think, tomorrow about how to get all those in there. You got things like the essential public health services in here. For today, we have one called fun stuff down here. And the subcategories in fun stuff we have are birthdays, vacations, spring break, holidays, family, and shopping. And these are the kind of the different elements of the plans that you guys built out there. So in this case, you can see for the plan that was Nicole's birthday party on April 22nd, we had it tagged as birthday, vacation, and family. So maybe, well, I'm not sure, was that, we're going to be on the vacation? No, that wasn't the vacation, was it? So we're going to go ahead and untag vacation, just call it birthdays and family for this one. So you can have as few or as many tags as you want, and you can tag across multiple different categories here. So I could go in and say, I can look at the service types in here and say, this is a media service as well as being in our fun stuff. For now, we're just going to use the fun stuff category down here. So now that I've selected birthdays and family, I hit the little save button down here. Now, the first thing it's going to do, because I'm sitting at the service initiative level, remember underneath that there are goals, objectives, and activities. Typically, if you categorize the service, all of the goals, objectives, and activities are going to be in the same set of categories in here. So it's going to ask you, do you want to categorize the goals, objectives, and activities beneath this particular service? For now, we'll go ahead and say yes. And what that's going to do is make sure that everything down below here is categorized the same way. So back to our categories again, we go down to fun stuff, and this is what we just did, birthdays and family. But if I go down the pyramid a little bit here, like to goals, so these are the two goals underneath the service here. Again, you notice that it says it's been categorized. Go down to fun stuff, same exact categories. Now, I can, if, for instance, maybe one of these goals didn't relate to family, I could uncheck family, and then I get the option to uncheck the objectives and activities underneath that as well. So I can tweak it. I can go to the big picture at the initiative level, categorize it all the way down, and then go down and tweak the individual planning elements underneath that if I choose to do that. So then I can also get down to the objective level, and again, you'll see the category, the blue eye indicates that it has been categorized. And again, if I click on that, it's going to show you this. So what you're able to do with this is to kind of build cross references, so you can look across different plans for commonalities and such. So that's the way that you categorize things. Again, you can have as many categories assigned, and each category can have as many subcategories as you want. When you need to have a new category, for instance, if you're going to be doing something, let's say related to a state requirement, which a lot of folks do, you might build a state requirements category, and then under that have however many state requirements there are, and have a different subcategory. And then you can go in and say, our strategic plan meets these state requirements, something along that line. So now since we have the categories established already and we have a bunch of these plans categorized, I'll go back down to my training plan. So now I've selected just the training group. I'm going to go up to my reports menu up here. Now, these two are the primary reports we're going to talk about today. We've already talked about pretty much the rest of the reports going down here. But the category tag report is a report that says I want to be able to look at specific plan elements based on the tagging that I've done here. So I'm going to click on that. I'll go down to my fun stuff here. And let's say I want to say everything that is either birthdays or family. So if I'm within a category, it's a logical OR function. If you're familiar with Boolean logic, it says it's going to be, if anything is tagged with either a birthday or a family or birthday and family, it's going to show up in our report. Up here at the top, I'm going to say, what am I looking at? I can look at all the documents in the system. I can look at what we call the program abstracts we looked at last time, services, goals, objectives, or activities. So let's just say we're going to look at the objectives that were tagged today. And I'm going to go ahead and say, select my top level group. I'm going to go back down to my training group and say, I just want to look at the things that are within the training group. If I look at the department is the default, by the way, so it's going to look at everything down the entire department. For now, we're just going to look within the training group, which things are categorized as either birthday or family or both. So I've selected the objectives. I'm going to go ahead and select the save button. Now it's going to give me this option because, as you'll notice, we had a bunch of those services that were hidden. So we don't want to include those because we've obviously hidden them for a reason here. So I'm going to say no. Just going to go out and generate that report for anything in the training group that has been categorized. Up here it says this is what we selected, categories and subcategories. So it's fun stuff and birthdays or family. So as I go down here, you'll see Nicole's birthday party, family Christmas party, Nicole's Las Vegas spring break, family Christmas party, Christy, and Nicole likes to take a lot of vacations apparently, so she's planning them out for the next 5 years. So that's the category tag report. Now, again, as you're selecting your categories, anything that you do within a category is, again, a logical OR function. If I had another category in here that I had things selected with, I could say it's got to be both. Let's say it's an essential service, and I have its essential service 1 tagged in there. So what I'm saying is what I'm looking for is anything that is essential service 1 and either birthdays or family. So the Boolean logic would be essential service 1 and in the parentheses, birthdays or family in there. So it's going to say anything that either shows up as a birthday and family, but is also tagged as essential service number 1 is going to show up in the report. So that gives you the ability to really narrow down your searches once you get your category set up the way that you want them in there. So that's the category tag report. It's very simple once you get your categories assigned in there and get everything tagged. Now, the other report that we're going to look at is the categorization report. And basically, is all that does is show you how did I categorize everything. And the nice thing about that is kind of a maintenance report. Once you go through and you do a lot of categorization, then you make changes in your plan, the categories, you may look back and say, I wonder what I did on that particular plan to categorize it. So the categorization report, again, down at my training level here, if I click on that, again, we're not going to show the hidden ones. It's going to show me how each planning element has been categorized here. So I can go down, and I'm at the objective level still. So I'm going to go down here, and it says, okay, so Nicole's birthday party was categorized as fun stuff, birthdays and family, birthdays and family, birthdays and family. As I go down here, okay, down. So here's one that is categorized as vacations, spring break, and family. Vacation, spring break, and family, holiday shopping, holiday shopping. So what it's doing is just showing you how did I tag all of these plans. The nice thing about that is you can also go up here and say show uncategorized. And I'm not sure if we have any of that. We'll take a look at it here and see. What that's going to do is if I have, a group or a plan, okay, here's one. So Christmas party, Kelsey has not been categorized. What that allows you to do is just say, hey, I forgot to do this, or as I added this new plan into the system, I'd forgotten to go in and categorize it with the rest of them. So it just gives you the ability then you can go select this particular plan, go through the same categorization process as we were doing before in there. And again, I can look at any level up here, the service, goal, objective, or activity level. The show subgroups button allows me to say if there were, and I think we actually had subgroups underneath there, but they probably haven't been categorized. But what that would do is show me the groups underneath the training group and how they've been categorized. So it's just kind of putting it all together from the top of the pyramid on down. So those are the basically the two advanced reports. And again, talk to Nicole if you have specific categories that you want to implement in the system. She can put them in there very simply, categories and subcategories. And then once she puts them in there, anybody can go in and do the categorization process in there. So that really, other than some of the reports down here that are org admin only that we'll be talking to Nicole about tomorrow, that really is the advanced reporting that we were talking about. So I'll open it up to any questions.
I have one question, Fred. So so let me ask you this. So if I am, say, a program manager and I just want to prepare for an upcoming meeting. So I only want to pull together the pieces of, say, the strategic plan or KPIs or something like that that pertain especially to my team.
Okay.
Is this the function, or does this function give you the capability to just like tag the pieces that are like special for you, and then just run a report that isolates those pieces that are just for me and my team?
You could do that. One way to go is create a category for your team that you can tag the reports across the whole system. The other thing you can do is use that team lead report, and you could say, I want to select an individual. We'll go ahead and say all here. I could say I want to select an individual, so I can select just Nicole and run a report that says, show me every objective or activity that Nicole is responsible for, she's been tagged to. Or if I say group, it's going to be everything within the group that I select. And in this case, the group was training. And so it's going to be everybody who's assigned to the training group, which in case there's nobody in there. But if it was health or something, I can go in and say, show me every objective or activity that anybody in community health has been assigned to. So that's the way to generate a report like that.
Okay. So, and then in that instance, it doesn't, we don't have to select specifically like the strategic plan or like CHP or something like that. We just go in and, I guess, kind of repeat that piece for me one more time, please.
What you're looking at is either an individual down here, so I can select, like I did here, I can select, oops, all here. Hello. Oh, there it is, sorry. Okay, so I can just go down here and select Nicole as my individual. And when I say individual, it's going to be just a report for you. So everything at the training group and below that Nicole is either the objective lead or the activity lead or team member here. So you got your choices, either team or team lead. Then I can look at it either in a report format or in a screen format. So that just shows everything Nicole. If I go over here though and select group, then what it's going to do is select whatever group I have down here in here. In this case, we had training selected and there's nobody in training, so it wouldn't show, there'd be no report at this point in time. But if I selected community health, it would say all of the people who were assigned as their default group to community health would then show up in this report.
Okay, interesting. So let's do one for like a fairly small team, just for demonstrative purposes. Excuse me. Like IT is a really small team. So let's try maybe IT, which would be Jason Shoemaker or Tree Win.
Okay, so we have IT selected here. Now, are these people, it doesn't appear like the people are assigned to IT as their default group, but let's go ahead and see what. Yeah, there's nobody apparently assigned to the IT group. Let's take a look over
Oh,
here.
really?
Yeah, in their user profile, they have to be assigned over here. This right column would have to be assigned to IT. So is there another group that you see here that we could look at?
Oh, I see. Shoemakers assigned to ops as opposed to IT. Okay.
We should do ops. Try that.
Yeah, let's try ops.
So yeah, ops is above IT basically. Okay, so look
Gotcha.
at that, and there we go. So these are the people who were assigned. This is going to be a pretty big report if I do the whole group in here. But let's take a look at it. Let's look at the objectives within that group and just see what happens here.
Sure.
No, services hidden. Show function is not, oh, show function. Okay, so I got to use the report function. So the group objectives report. So there we go. Okay, so this is the report for everybody who's in ops at this point in time, and it shows everything that everybody who's in ops has been assigned to. And I'm looking at the objective level. I can also go down and look at the activity level as well.
Okay.
So yeah, if you're going to do something that is specific to an assigned group of people, then that's the way to go about doing it. It's very simple to do that.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, that's a good demonstration. Thank you.
Any other questions? Nope. Okay. Well, I think we had one person on for the 1 o'clock. Is that right, Jason?
I think I have 2 people on for the 3 o'clock.
Well, oh, yeah, 1 o'clock our time, 3 o'clock your time.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys do that silly daylight savings time thing we don't understand over here.
I know. We don't like it.
Okay. Well, I will see you at 3 o'clock your time then.
All right. Yeah. Thank you for the session, Fred. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everybody.
See you guys later. Thank you, Fred. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.